Hello, TikTok and YouTube. Squid Game was definitely a pretty good show that I enjoyed a lot, but it did have some problems. And all I see online is people just praising the show and saying it's perfect, it's the best thing ever. So I thought it would be fun to just go through uh, just a few of my problems that I had with the show. My first complaint is with the doctor subplot. Early on in the show, we get hints at, that one of the contestants is doing some things with the other contestants who have passed away, and it's kind of given as a mystery. And I was really intrigued by it. I was excited to see what was going to happen. And then it just kind of is like, oh, he's just taking parts to sell on the black market. It kind of felt like a lame payoff. I was really expecting the show to do something more clever with it, but just the fact that all he was doing was getting body parts for the people who work there to sell just kind of seemed lame to me. My second complaint is with the marble game with these two guys here, the gangster guy and his partner. The main gangster guy is literally about to lose, and then he goes, "Oh, I don't want to play this anymore. Let's switch the game." And the guard says, "Okay, that's fine." So basically, he lost that one, but then gets out of it somehow. And then he ends up winning the second game, and then the other guy's immediately killed. That didn't really feel fair to me. The show keeps saying how it's important that everybody's equal, everyone's on the same footing, but obviously the first guy won the first game. So then if the main gangster guy wins the second game, why isn't there a third game played? I don't know. It just kind of seemed like a cop out to not have the main gangster guy die yet. My third complaint comes with after they basically play the Fall Guys mini game where you have to guess the right platforms. When the girl gets cut with the glass and basically fatally injured by it. Again, the game keeps everybody keeps saying how fair the game is, how important it is for all players to be equal. Yet she gets injured after she beat the game. This just doesn't seem fair to me. I get that the show was really going to needing the last two people to compete, but this just kind of seemed to go against the rules of the game because why is she being punished for literally beating the game? Like she won this round. Why? And then she gets injured. Why didn't they help her? My fourth complaint is when they come together to kind of conspire against Sanwoo and, basically say we can both get out of here. No, don't they realize like they can't? There's obviously only going to be one winner. The game is very clear about that there's only going to be one winner unless they just give up the money, which they need the money. They both acknowledge to each other that they need the money. So what's their plan? I get that he's sad when she dies, but honestly, they were just going to have to kill each other anyway, uh, because the losers will be executed. So I just don't get what their plan is here. They have to know that only one person is going to walk away, or else they give up all the money. My fifth complaint is with the old man. We learn at the end of the show that he was one of the original people who created the game, and he wanted to compete in the game he created because he was sick and going to die. My complaint with that is obviously he knows that he can very well die in the game. I mean, he plays tug of war. There's no way to get out of that. If his team lost, he would be splattered on the floor. So he's obviously prepared to die. And then after the marble round, he just slips away. How did that guard know that he was the original creator? He purposely went in without introducing himself. Everyone keeps their faces hidden. So how does he get away without dying? And also, why did he want to? He also says how he is, luck is important and how playing the game is fun and it's all about luck and skill. But then he kind of just it goes against his character for him to just slip away and not face the consequences that he lost. And then he slips away to what? Die in a hospital bed a year later. I thought his whole point was to go out in a blaze of glory. It doesn't make sense. It's not a good reveal in my opinion. My final complaint is that I really didn't care for the ending at all. It's it's shown that after he won the money, he literally sits around for a year doing nothing. I get that he's depressed, but one of the whole things that he even enters the game is so he can have money for his daughter and stop being a loser in his life. He wins, he gets all the money, and he sits around for a year. Like I don't know, it doesn't feel right for his character. And then he goes and he gives all his money to Son Woo's mom and the girl's brother. I'm glad he's helping them, but doesn't he need some for his daughter in the U.S.? I mean, doesn't he want to be able to support her and help her? And then he doesn't even go to the U.S. to see his daughter because he happens to see the guy from the beginning of the game, tries to follow him, and then calls and speaks to the main guy, the main bad guy with the black mask, and basically now he's not going to go to the US to see his daughter. He's going to get revenge. He's going to figure something out. Just he take the money and go see your daughter. It's just such a you're rooting for him the whole show, and at the end he's just such a cocksucker. Like it's such just a shitty ending. I mean, maybe that was the point to say that he never changed and he's still a gambler and whatnot. But you would think after all of what happened, and because he's been so sad because of the death of Sanwoo, because the death of the girl, wouldn't he want to make up for all of that and be a good person? Like this ending just really sucked in my opinion. And yeah, those are basically all my main complaints with Squid Game. I definitely enjoyed the show a lot, but I don't think it was perfect by any means. If I had to give it a score, I would give it a 7 out of 10. At its highs, it was very good, very stressful, had me at the edge of my seat, but it did have some lows, and I think unless they end up doing a season 2 and continuing on the ending, I think the ending was very, very disappointing. Almost as disappointing as the Game of Thrones ending for me.